Hey Dale,
Howdy, howdy. What's going on?
how are you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. There's Dr. Tobias.
Dr. Revis.
She's got her.
There's Grandma Phyllis.
Yeah.
Grandma Phyllis with COVID.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
you kidding
You
me,
got
Phyllis?
it.
Wow.
Sorry
You're
to hear
missing that baby. You're missing that baby already, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Counting the days.
You'll have to FaceTime her, won't you?
Oh, yes. Already doing that. I was positive Friday. So,
Hey,
Oh, Lordy. I hate to hear that.
Sorry.
hey, Dr.
Phyllis,
World.
how are you feeling?
it's
Are you okay, Dr. Tower?
pretty rough. I'm feeling okay. It's real bad headache and kind of in the mornings, it's like, for lack of a better way to describe it, like croupy like. And but I'm a little better today. So
Thank the Lord
That's
for
good.
that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm sorry you're going through it.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good
it's-
thing about Zoom. I'm still doing meetings and carrying on. So
Right.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that we've had this, and it's very normal for all of us to interact this way and
Yeah.
connect this way.
Yeah, it is.
hmm And I feel connected to folks. You know, I even did observation of student teachers back in the fall, and I felt connected with the students. I mean, they were interacting with me, etc. So,
I mean,
Zoom has become second nature to me.
exactly.
I mean, it really
works.
has. It's just become second nature. I don't think twice about communicating with people now.
I agree. I even tell people in the room to ask them to please spread out if they're in the same room with each other, because it's like you see a different perspective sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going into almost completing my second year as executive director for communities and schools. I have not had one face-to-face board meeting yet.
Mhm.
And I don't think they'll ever go back to a face-to-face. It's just become so much more convenient for them.
Yeah.
It really is a time saver, because
Yeah.
you can be any place, anywhere, and you can jump on a call. You're fully engaged, and then you jump off and go into whatever your other part of life is.
Yeah.
Aren't y'all don't y'all have Zoom fatigue? I've been Zooming 4 times today now. This is
No,
the 4th Zoom session I've had.
Yeah. That's every day.
Dale, I feel like I'm George Jesse. You think about where I've come when you first met me.
Yeah. I was thinking a while ago, Dan was talking
That's
about
my
Zoom, the second
nighttime
nature
boss
to him.
there. I call it my stripper job.
The first
Oh.
time it was introduced to me and I was told I had to do it, I literally was scared to death. I got upset stomach, TMI, but I was scared to death of having to do it. And I says, I'll have to quit.
Right.
It's,
I would
you know,
Dale has been very patient with me, but I've learned so much
yeah,
from him.
yeah. But,
He's raised all of us, Danny.
I know it.
well, I wish that we didn't, folks have Zoom fatigue and COVID fatigue, and we're making some really bad decisions. The faculty, last Wednesday at Gardner Webb, we normally meet in Blanton, which is the big auditorium over in the business building. It wasn't originally the business building, but it is now. And they decided they wanted to get together. So we went over to Tucker and went to one side of the big hall, and they had all the tables pushed together. And it was like sitting on laps. I thought I was on a bus in Bangladesh. We were sitting in one of those laps for 2 hours. And then we got up and when recongregated again and did an activity around tables. I'm expecting a COVID spike at Gardner Webb. I think the president said we had dropped from 30 something to 20 something. And so they decided they'd do that. Now, the faculty chair said it was her idea to do that, said that twice, which means it wasn't her idea. She's a nurse by trade. So, she knew better than that. They had, one of the nursing professors has already died. Surely the nursing school of all people knows that you shouldn't be sitting in labs during a pandemic. What do I know? So anyway, we're kind of worried that we were exposed last Wednesday. I think we're doing okay. To Terry's point, I don't know that we're ever going to go back to making face-to-face visits again in schools. I would like for us to, but it's become too convenient and they like not paying the travel. So I don't know what we're going to do. So we'll continue that, making our visits. Yeah, it's, if you're making 4 or 5 different ones, but you should get you some doctoral students who are in their last semester and getting ready to defend. You think 4 or 5, it's 6 or 8 or 9 or 10 a day. They it gets, if you're doing that many different ones, it does get it gets a little hectic, but you just kind of have to kind of push through it. It's just kind of become the moment. What I want to talk about today is we've had a good meeting. We had 2 or 3 more drop today. It's financial, what they say on the forms. I don't know what has changed. Something has changed about either the loan or the financial aid or something. So we lost about 20 now to financial reasons. And so, but there's nothing I can do with that. I'm gonna meet with the dean tomorrow afternoon and see if he's got any further. We're meeting at 2, if he's got any further. I talked to him about this last week, so I don't know if he's found anything out or not, but it's kind of aggravating that something has changed in the financial structure to have this many drop out over finances, but we'll see what happens. And so, but we're holding pretty steady. Our numbers look pretty good, so I'm not going to complain. It's time for role verification. And role verification is completely different than it's ever been before. And I do mean completely different. So if you've not done it, I'm going to walk you into a DEOL shell that I have not set up for attendance, because we don't use those shells. They're kind of like our internship shells. But I'm going to walk you in as if you had not set up your quickly attendance. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to do that quickly, pun intended. So, by the way, if you're using Blackboard, I would recommend I've always used it with Internet Explorer, but I've had to stop. I would recommend that you switch over to Chrome or Mozilla. That last update that they did, that when it stayed down for a week at the end of last semester, it's no longer compatible with Internet Edge. I don't know, they did something and I asked and they said that is correct, you need to switch. And so when you go to Blackboard, if you can see my screen now, and you find the course that you need to verify the enrollment, I verified this one this morning. I haven't done it. Yeah, I can do this one now. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. Let's see about this one. I think I did. Go to quickly attendance. And if you haven't set it up, you just begin set up. Don't read any of this because it'll just confuse you. Just go to the bottom and hit save settings. That's all you have to do. And then return to attendance. And we're going to have a little red notice here that pops up and say, verify your enrollment. And then when you go, I'm just going to do all because I have one, but I heard from her, this student right here a few minutes ago. So, And now you can click on has attended and take the ones off who haven't, or you can do it all manually. It's up to you, and then just submit it. And okay. And it's done. All right, and you get this little green notice down here, and it'll take you back to that. And then you can close that. I'm gonna go back to my courses, and I'll do another one. So I did that one and that one. I did that one. Let's see, I think it's let's see if this is the one. Now, in clinical and consultancy shells, it does not, yeah, there it is. They work the same, but now I'm gonna say, again, you don't have to do any of those things. Just save the settings, return to attendance, verification. This is the same group in the clinical consultancy. Okay. And that's it.
And where did you go first? Right there in the,
You just go to your courses.
right, but then
Oh.
where, okay, when you're there, now where?
Quickly attendance.
Quickly, okay, thank you.
Now, I have one of my clinicals this morning, it just said attendance. I don't know why it didn't say quickly attendance. And I thought, well, but when I clicked on it, it took me to quickly. Let's see what my last one does here. It said,
Well, when I clicked on my just plain attendance, it took me to that and it opened up for me to do that's what I clicked on in my message.
that's what I'm talking about. See, this one right here has just got attendance. I don't know why it doesn't have quickly attendance on it. So of my 5 shells, 3 had quickly and 2 of them. See, it takes me to the same place. I don't know why it doesn't say quickly attendance.
Yeah, Dale, mine too. All mine say attendance, not even quickly.
I don't know why. I don't know what that.
Dr. Lamb, this is Sheena. Mine doesn't have quickly. When I click on attendance, it says Blackboard Learn authorization. Do I just say okay?
Yes.
Allow?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's what mine did, review form on that.
Yeah. And has attended, so Jonathan, Stacia, Angela, Jim, Brad, and Vic. That's my 5. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my 6 doctorals that are actually going to finish this semester. Yay. I'll be so glad. I was working with them today, or 2 of them today. And that's it. And then once you get back here, you can just click out of that. And so that's pretty much it. Now, what I do want to talk to you about also, I'll be honest with you, I'm not taking attendance on a weekly basis from the screen. I'm taking it from their work. You know, I've got one who shows up all the time, but she's not doing work. I mean, attendance to me on online is, do you do your weekly assignments? Now, I know they want you to get your pad out like a chart and look who's on the screen and all that. But, I'm doing my attendance on did you do your weekly assignment? That is my understanding, and I think Anita and Steve are on there, that's the accepted standard in graduate school for online classes is attendance is not that you showed up on the Zoom screen, it's you did your weekly assignment. And so I thought everybody knew that, but then last week I saw some verbiage that came that talked about seating chart and count them on the screen and all that stuff. Maybe that's for undergraduate. That certainly, as far as I know, nothing has changed for us we're still counting attendance. If you turned your assignment in, you're present. If you didn't, you're absent.
Well, that would defeat that, they're not required to come online anyway. They're just
Exactly.
required to do their work.
That's exactly right. And we've explained that is that they're not required to come with us online. And so I think maybe they just snafu'd on who they sent that to. So my point is if you got it, disregard it. If they turn their work in, they're present. They don't have to come to the Zoom sessions.
Dr.
That is not a
Lamb.
requirement. We want them to. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Lamb, so my one friend who has come to every class but still hasn't turned anything in, she called me yesterday. I said, well, you need to make a decision. You call the registrar's office today. I didn't hear from her all day. And then, so this afternoon, about 4, I called her and she said she had decided she's going to catch up on her work and stay in the class. And I said, well, that's great. So task 3, you have 3 tasks to turn in this week. So get on it. So
Yeah.
that's what I said. Get on it.
Well,
She was worried about doing peer reviews. I said, you need to be worried about doing your APSL task before you worry about a peer review. Just, you have to do it all, but get on it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about. I didn't verify my other doctoral class. I've got 2. I didn't verify my other one this morning because I have one who did the same kind of thing. She's finally decided now that she's going to do the work. Well, don't talk about it, be about it, get it done.
So I'm going to count her as attended then, even though I still
Yeah.
don't have any work from her. Okay. She told me that's what she was going to
Yeah,
do.
and so that's why I was talking about Brianna. I said, I need to hear from you today,
Mhm.
or I'm going to no-show you. You haven't done any work. You haven't attended you have not attended the synchronous required doctoral Saturday, and you haven't turned any work in. Said she had all these other things, and now she's taking her daughter somewhere. But she's helping her case study group. What with you haven't read any material, done any activities. I guess she's morally supporting them. I guess I don't know, but I'm like you. I'm going to count her. She said she wanted to be counted, so. But I'm saving that email. When they want to withdraw later on, or want to know why they got a bill, or you said you wanted to be in the course. We had 2 or 3 that did that to us last semester that wanted to stay, and then later on, well, I thought I'd drop. Well, either you did or you didn't. I mean, you went in and you filled out the form, or you didn't. Well, I said I wanted to, but you didn't fill out the form. And so I hate to be a stickler, but it's getting to be a little bit aggravating. Some of these folks in and out. They want to be in if they can get financial aid, or if they're taking a draw on financial aid, but then they want to drop later on. And so, but that's between them and the government. I'm not loaning them money. In God we trust. Everybody else has to pay cash, no loans. So, but I know it's about financial aid that they're doing all this game playing, but it gets old after a while. True. All right, what time is it? Oh, Lord, we got other things to do. They're all in task stream now. That's been another hullabaloo. And so we were had to go in and trace everybody to make sure they didn't have an existing account. So that took a minute, but she got all those bought, what was it, Friday? And I got everything cleaned up and fixed up Friday night and got them all in Saturday after class. So they're all in their DRFs. We'll teach them about that and how to build their portfolio Wednesday night. Everybody's invited, masters and add on to the Thursday night session. I've sent out the link, got the date right after two attempts, but so everybody should be with us. I'll record it and we'll post it in classes. So I think that's great. So we're ready to roll on those, and everybody's already in there. Mark had to be at the hospital with his son today, Ian. broke his leg on the ice, and so he's with him, but he was worried that he only had 2. That was existing accounts that I just moved over, but they're all in there now. And everybody should have access. If you're an instructor, you should have access as an evaluator, which gives you total access. You can go into TaskStream and look at their previous work. Please remember, when you go look for them, don't look for them this semester. I'm smarter than the elementary bunch. I don't have to change courses with them every, or DRFs every semester. We put them in one time and move you people, rather than putting them in and moving them every semester like they have to do in elementary. So I just turned, all of you are already in there. I just click a button, turn you on and off with the groups. So what I'm saying is, if you've got a group in, just like Anna and Sheena have got 603 add-ons, you look at the fall 21 school administration add-on. I enroll them in a DRF. They stay in that DRF, and then I break them down by section, so by class. And so when they move from one to the other, I don't have to move them. I just have to turn the button on and off about who can see their work. And the evaluator stays the same. So just like Steve and Rod and Mark and Cindy, they stay the same all the way through. Never have to change them. And I just open or close the access for you to go in and see. And so if you're teaching or coaching, you can go to TaskStream and see everything in the students that you have. Just remember, you go to the semester they started in, and I have them separated. We don't mix them anymore. I have them either add on. Now, after 2019, we stopped calling them add-on, MELS add-on. We started school administration. We changed the title of the DRF, but you'll figure that part of it out. And then, of course, it says MELS Masters. But you should have access to everybody that you got in your class. You should be able to go into TaskStream and see what previous work that they've done. Now, remember, you can't see their competency folio until they request comments one time. Once they request comments one time, you then can see it from then on anytime you want to go look at it. But they have to give you that initial access. Remember, they are the owner, and that allows them to publish and share it with prospective employers and use it for CEU for renewal credits at the end of their program as well for their digital teaching and learning competencies. So we have to make them the owner. That's why they have to go in and create it. Now I create the template, of course, it's already in there. And then this way they have, they have access to use it. It's just one of those functions that's nice. So everything should be done. I think we're everywhere we need to be. We've done the Thursday night will end up the coaching. Now we will do an interviewing session with the 603 add-ons and the 604s and the 605s. We'll do that probably in April. I'll let you know when that's going to be. I'll get with Steve and Anita when it works best for them to work around their classes. I know that 603s meet on Wednesday night, and so it'll have to be like a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday, but I will find the date. We may do it through Steve's class and just everybody there, whatever, but we'll do that. Please remember, if you're asked, starting in March with the catalog changes, all the add-ons get a second master's degree. And yes, they do have to pay $150 like everybody else does. And no, you can't waive late fees, neither can I, neither can Luann. The date is already passed for them to apply for graduation. It was January 25th. The time has not opened for the 603s. Had one of them today. It's an IQ test. Had another one today. Try to apply, and they want to know why his application was rejected. I had to remind him, for those who were finishing in the summer, that 603 add-on and the 604s with Anita, they don't apply until March the 7th. And yes, they got to pay. Everybody pays $150 now. That is not an error. And if you don't get it done within about 2 weeks, they'll charge you another $50 late fee. So we'll remind them again on that. And then we'll do our final interviewing town hall. And then I'll do one last with the 605s to make sure they've got everything a couple weeks before they're to finish. So just
Dale?
the standard stuff. Yes.
Dale, I've got 3 CC1s that I've tried to get a hold of and couldn't. Could I give the names here, and if anybody has them in class? Or no, would you let me just email that to you?
Let's look right quick and read them out because somebody might know. Let's look and
Okay,
see.
LaKenya Robbins. She's
She
in
dropped.
Charlotte. She dropped, okay.
That's, LaKenya did not drop. That's the one that says she does not want to drop. That's the one I talked to today.
Okay,
Yeah, she's still on the list right here.
She's been in every class,
Oh,
but
so
she's
that
not
was,
turned in.
we had decided that, okay, so she's the one. Okay. So she's still there. Well, then she's got to get in touch with Dr. Talent then. All right.
Okay, and I just sent her an email confirming, and I blind copied you, Dr. Lamb, confirming our conversation today at 4:15. So I'll forward that to Phyllis, and I'll also reply to her that she needs to also contact Dr. Talent.
Okay.
Alicia
I lost you.
Husky. And,
Alicia
Whitney
Husky's
Graves.
still on the list.
okay, I'll keep trying, and
She dropped.
Whitney Graves.
She did drop.
Alicia Husky dropped, yes.
All
Whitney
right.
Graves dropped. Oh, Alicia dropped. Okay.
Alicia Husky, and who's the
Okay.
other one?
Whitney Graves.
She's still on the list.
Okay, she's in Charlotte. I've got in touch with, I've had my meetings with the rest of them. So
Okay.
thank y'all very much. That helps me.
Whitney Graves. Let me get out of that. Let me look right here. Move out of the way.
And Phyllis, I had to contact LaKenya via phone. She would not ever respond to a Gardner Web email.
Okay.
You have her number?
No, I don't. What have you got?
Okay, it is 954
Mm-hmm.
536
Mm-hmm.
2142.
Okay. Is that a school number or?
No, it's her. It's her
Okay.
number.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Off topic, just to let y'all know, the students that we have in our add-ons, they are much worse writers than what our master's students are. Holy
Well,
cow.
that's not good news.
Yes. At least ours in 603. Holy cow.
Mm,
Mine
Yeah.
are really good. Mine are really good, so I don't know who had them before, but they did a great job with them.
well,
3.
I've got the 4 and 6 group. 4 group does pretty good. The 6 group, you know, they have to write with crayons because they can't have sharp objects. The 6 group.
What's your group, Dr. Tobias? Is it an 0204?
I've got 4 and 6.
Well, maybe.
You've got 02 then.
Yeah, I think Dr. Revis had them.
Okay,
Okay, well, I mean, we can just look right here. I'll tell you, move out of the way. I'll tell you who's got who. All right, so I have the C6 and the 4 that were put together, so I've got 27 of them.
those were Dr. Revis's and Dr.
Yeah,
Hamilton.
yeah, Dr. Hamilton's group, of course, we already knew that. So 60312 is Dr. Tobias. That was the best group. Everybody said from last semester was the C12. So she's got them. Dr. Stone's got the C2, which was the next best group. Sheena and Anna have 8 and 10, which were the worst. So yeah, that would be right.
Who has C2?
The sixth group that Robin had, they their writing isn't strong, but the bigger issue with them so far is they can't follow directions. I'm having to, they lead
Mhm.
OMA task 1. Didn't do an EC audit, didn't do anything about the budget, didn't include the master schedule. I mean, I've got a list, you must have these things. Don't even have those things. And then for task 2, copy task 1, 2, and 3 from the AppTel. I've had 4 or 5 that have copied 2 tasks and didn't send the third one. And I'm like, but that has the plan that we want for task 2. That's what we need. The C6 group is having a hard time just, getting home every day without wetting their pants. They can't follow directions.
Well, Dr. Lamb, I felt very successful this weekend. I had one student who wants to be a principal, but thought that principal was spelled P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E. And he now knows how to spell principal.
I've had those. I have those this semester. I also have those that will put quotation marks around everything, every
Everything.
whole paragraphs, every sentence.
Oh,
And it's not like a statement, it's just a fact.
Mhm.
Like there are 7,000 people that live in Smallburg.
Right.
They put quotes.
Dale,
an
who has the
evac-
C2 this time, Dale? And
Do
As an
what?
evaluator,
Who
a lot
has
of
the-
that's not getting corrected.
Yeah.
who has the C2 class in the 603? Or the O2
that's-
class?
That's what I was just showing you. Jackie has the 12, which was the best one. And was it Steve has the C2, which was next.
Okay.
He's got them. I've got the 6 group that Robin had that they'd lose their head if it wasn't tied on.
And who
They-
has
they
the
just-
who has the C10 group that I had last time?
That's them.
Me,
Me.
Scott Bragley and I.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you now, they worked hard for me. That group worked harder for me than my C2 group did. So I don't know if they have fallen off the train, then there's no reason, because Tina, they can do it.
I'm
They
not
can
saying
do
they're
it.
not, I'm not saying they're not working. They just can't
Yeah.
write.
They just
Yeah, well,
aren't good. They are.
yeah.
Yeah, but now again, understanding is the only anomaly from last semester is the 12 group is generally the booger eaters, but for whatever reason, they didn't understand. When I tried to explain, you've got 6 sections. When a student cut, you put the first one in C2. The second student, when you register, put them in C4. And when you go and so forth until you get to C12. And then you start back with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Instead of putting all the first ones in 2, 4. But they said, well, we'll start with C12. That'll fix your problem. No. You can't make this up. They still don't understand. The first 20 that come along, whether you call it C2 or C12, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12, they're even numbered. You don't put the 20 best ones together, because what happens is when you get to the end, you have the 20 not best ones together. Therein lies your problem. And so they started with C12 last semester and then went to C2. So the best group was the 12 group. And they said, see, we solved your problem. And said, you didn't solve our problem at all. We still have groups. You get this group that can't read and write. You got this group that, that's advanced. We'd like a more normal distribution than that. But we can't seem to get the folks in admissions to understand that the number that we put on them is immaterial. It's the makeup of the group. Stop doing homogeneous grouping. If you're the person who gets, the bluebirds, that's wonderful. But what if you get the buzzards? What if you get the ones at the end? Then it's just kind of like, you lose your mind trying to get them through. And so that's wherein, so our groups from last semester, the numbering is a little bit off of what we would normally find, but it's what we normally find. We have one or two groups that are just knocking the top out of it, and we have two at the bottom that are just. So 10 was the end group this past spring, because 12 was, they made it the top group. And like that was going to solve our problem. But you know, shoot low, boys, they're riding Shetlands, as Louis Grizzard would say. I'm not working with mental giants here. So I would like to get more dispersal, you know, as well, a more normal distribution, but they can't, you know, they can't see. And so y'all watch them, you see how they fill up, you know, that they can't do that, they won't do any different. So, but as I said, my C4 group is fine. The C6 group writes okay. You just can't get them to put it all in there. I'm having to handle their work 2 and 3 times. And you know, I'm not going to do that very long before, you know, I start roasting and I have a meltdown. That doesn't work with me. So I'm going to be very polite about it Wednesday night, but I'm also going to remind them that, you know, I'm going to exit them from the program if I have to keep running after them. I'm not their mom. And so we're going to have a come to Jesus Wednesday night about stop turning in work that's incomplete. You haven't, it doesn't have all the stuff in it. Why are you putting it in? I'm not going to tell you, hey, you know, so you can look at it, how am I doing, before you put any more effort to keep on going. This is a one and done. Or are you going to be done? We're going to have a come to Jesus, as Ron Thompson would say. We're going to have it Wednesday night at 7. But I think other than that, they'll be okay. And the thing, they've got the work. They've just, you know, I think they're trying to see if I'm reading this stuff or not, because I turn it around same day. I think they're testing me, so I'm gonna break them from chasing cars and sucking eggs. All right, that's enough for one evening. I appreciate you and what you do. We're gonna, the College of Ed gets highlighted this go round this year with the Board of Trustees. What I've asked, you know, they said, you know, give us your numbers and what would you wish for if you were wishing. And I said, I won't reduce class size back down to 15 and increase adjunct pay. I think you deserve it. I'm angry that we just keep running the class sizes up and up and up, and then that's a pay cut. You get more to do with, you know, same money but more to do. That's kind of a duh. So I have no notion that they'll do either, but it, you know, we're not going to suffer in silence. So that data goes to the Board of Trustees in the next week or so, but I'm quite sure we'll get no money because I got the real scoop on the numbers today from the source, and they're going to be about $2.5 million short this spring. So don't look for things to get any better, but it's not us. We're making money. I want to show you one thing as we close today. Let me share my screen. So this is what graduate looks like. I'm sending me stuff. So let's see, I sent this. Okay. This is what undergraduate looks like spring and fall over the last few years. That doesn't look too good, but this is what graduate looks like over the same period of time. But I mean, they can't lose money fast enough. And we have a consistent, we've made money over the previous semester, every semester for the last 8 or 9 semesters, last 6 years in a row, or ever how many, and they've lost money consistently. They're 910 undergraduates down from just 6 years ago. And, you know, the only way they could lose it faster is to burn it. But, you know, on the other end, you can't cut people that don't have students. I mean, they're already at the 1-to-1 initiative, 1 student, 1 instructor. They got so few over in the undergraduate side, they don't have enough left to have a marble sheet. You walk by classes now today, you know, just got a handful of them. I mean, there's just hardly any undergraduates on campus now. A lot of the undergraduate population is DCP and commuters. I don't know how many dormitories are closed. I know 2. I don't know more than that. But we still run the college for the undergraduate, and they can't lose money fast enough. So, but you know, at some point you can't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. And I think I heard a couple of you say some of the feedback was students were surprised how large the classes were. Well, that's to save salaries. Put them together. At least we're not to the point where Jeff Hamilton, they let him, because it's not a KTA program in DEOL, they let him start with 6 doctorals. Normally got to have 10. They let him start with 6, and I said, well, they'll prorate you, they'll cut you down. But I even this, I shouldn't have been surprised. So what they did after the first 2 weeks, they made him collapse this 730 class into a 734 class. And said, you have to skip the first 2 introductory classes in your doctoral program and start the 3rd one, so that we don't have to pay for an instructor. And so, I mean, at least we're not having to take students and put them out of sequence or in other classes yet. I won't be surprised if that happens, but at least we are collapsing like classes right now. But I think they'll finally wake up and say, wait a minute, we could collapse some of these add-ons and masters back together. I won't be surprised if they do that. I mean, the money is just tight. It is for us. And so that's where we are financially. Thank you all for what you do. Phyllis, prayers for you. Hope you get feeling better soon. Everybody else, wear your mask, get your shots. Stay away from everybody the best you can. Try to stay healthy. The long, hard winter's just setting in. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. If you got anything you need me to handle, let me know. I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.